Excellent. Thank you very much. So I just want to quickly wrap up the conference. It is not the end of the conference yet, but I think this is a kind of good point to summarize what has been discussed in this conference in this year. So I'm going to give you a very short presentation about what we have done in the last couple of days. So obviously, I'd like to thank all the speakers, contributors to the conference. We have a record high number of presentations in the last 2.5 days. And it's not just only numbers, but I think the quality of the presentation was also incredibly high. And I hope all of you enjoyed as much as I did. And I think this is the first thank you to the for the contribution of this project. And obviously, there are also a number of people in the back of this conference, and the organizing committee continuously supporting this conference organization, and this conference cannot be possible without the support from lab members of the or members of the two labs, and Cambridge and EPFL. And thank you very much all for their contributions. I would like to here just put this questionnaires and advertisement of voluntary donations. Maybe Arsene or Veronica, you can put this questionnaire link in the chat window so that everyone can do this questionnaire by way of my presentation here. And also the voluntary donations. Last year, we got quite some people donated through this channel, and this is absolutely voluntary. If you have some capacity to contribute to this conference, that we highly appreciate it. We have actually we're running these conferences for without any funding, additional external funding. So your support is always helpful, and I'd like to thank you very much for those who donated last year. And then I would also like to go into a bit of a summary of this conference in EI 24. And we started this conference with the objectives of consolidating different views of embodied intelligence, and we want to share our views and discuss our views to actually move on with this community. So this is a really important time for all the embodied intelligence researchers to think about embodied intelligence in the age of AI and GPTs and LLMs and so on. We are actually the front runners of this kind of research in this big storm of AI revolution. So we should not forget about this aspect. And then I think this is very crucial for this community to survive and continue leading research in the near future. So hopefully this conference in the last 2.5 days actually contributed this forming a community and discussing the important matters and double checking our views and our priorities of research through these discussions. So this is very selected comments from my side, in my views, like what I learned from this year conference, and I just want to two big discussions what I learned from this conference. So the first part I want to talk about is the many different views of embodiment and embodied intelligence. And I think it's probably good to put this ideas of a kinds of embodied intelligence. Like embodied intelligence is not just one single thing that you can define and define on stone, but we just need to be a little flexible because we have so much to explore in this community. So one of the starting point of discussion is Matej Hoffman talking about strong and weak embodiment. And this is also linked to the the discussions about embodied artificial intelligence versus embodied intelligence. The weak embodiment basically means that we have a much less interactions, whereas a strong embodiment has a very heavily physical interactions are heavily involved in the process of intelligent adaptive behaviors. We also had a concept of soft embodiment, so how we can extend the embodiment and the change of our body over developmental process or evolutionary process is another very important aspect that we need to investigate in this context. So, and obviously we have lots of investigations about the mechanical intelligence and soft bodies. We have research by June, David, and Amy, Bass, and Berge, and many others talked about how important soft bodies are for the purpose of mechanical intelligence. But also in the similar context, I think mechanical, morphological, chemical computations, I think these are another really important topics at the computation, like how information processing happens in the physical world, and that is another really important aspects of embodiment. We had a very special the plenary talk by Neil Shubin about the paleontology, talking about innovations and transitions happen in nature. So evolution is, innovation never happens just one instance, but there's lots of preparation periods necessary to make this innovation happen in evolution. So I think that will give us a lot of interesting perspective about how we should think about embodiment. The magic embodiment is not the magic, right? It's the solid physical processes. So the magic innovation never happens, but there's a reason to the innovation happens. Lots of people talk about the embodied social intelligence in this year conference. So the social aspects of embodiment is really interesting. And the roles of our conversations and the roles of the nonverbal communications, social pressure to structure our brain, and so on and so forth. I think the community thinking is becoming actually more important in our embodied intelligence. And finally, gastrophysics as an embodied intelligence is really eye-opening views given by Charles Spence in today's plenary session. So the debate, I think I enjoyed this panel discussion very much, and it was lots of interesting ideas how to do the formal systems has any limitations or not, or embodied intelligence is a good research direction to achieve artificial general intelligence or not. I think we didn't have much discussion about what does it mean by general intelligence, but I think this is certainly what we need to think about together with what AI people, researchers are talking about. So, throughout the conference in the last 2.5 days, I have been really thinking about how to fill the gaps between embodied artificial intelligence and embodied intelligence. Not many people, not all of you will agree with my views, obviously, but I think, considering the fact that the AI is revolutionizing our community, our society, and also lots of scientific investigations, in my view, I think we should really think seriously about how we should make use of this revolutionary technologies to accelerate or to be even more innovative in our research. So that is something I wanted to think more about after this conference. Lots of research about the sim to real, real to sim. I think this was also a good opportunity to rethink the importance of simulation. And along this line, I had also heard a very interesting discussion in the breakout session yesterday about intuitive physics as the fundamental for the embodied intelligence research. And the physics as we know is the only one form of representing physical world, and there should be many different ways to really understand the physics depending on your task, depending on your environment, depending on many things. And I think that this is a really, really interesting way looking at embodied intelligence from a different perspective. And then, similar to the discussion of embodied artificial intelligence, I think we had a really interesting discussion yesterday about how LLMs and the foundation models contribute to our robotics and embodied intelligence research. And we all know that LLMs and the foundation model have problems at the moment for planning and understanding and the physical processes. And I was also very happy to hear from Charles Spence that taste are the kind of human taste and not the kind of thing AI can easily understand in the near future. So all of these things are our kind of direction of research we should think about in the future. Excellent. And then let's see. So obviously, this is not the end of our discussions, and we'll continue discussion over many different kind of channels. First of all, we have the breakout session right after this session, and then you can also have a look at all this recorded videos in our Embodied Intelligence website. We also have an in-person meeting in the RoboSoft conference for those going to San Diego in April. I'm very, very happy to see you all and the continued discussions, interesting discussions in this conference. We also are planning to do another proceedings of this year just to keep the record of our discussions in our open access format. So we will set the deadline usually at the end of August or end of September. If you need more time, please let us know. But if you are willing to contribute to an article in this proceedings, please be prepared for it. And this is actually a very unique venue of a publication, that it doesn't have to be technical contents. It doesn't have to be the experiment-oriented results, but you can actually put some review articles or position papers or any perspective papers. So we're very open to your suggestions. So please be ready to contribute to these proceedings, and please do have a look at our previous proceedings just to have a flavor of what kind of papers are there. Okay, so with this, I'd like to start my presentation, and thank you very much all for all the contributions to this conference. I would like to also advertise the final sessions of this conference. So right after this session, we're going to continue with the breakout session. So we have a 3 sessions set up. The session 1, session 2, and the session 3. And Veronica is going to set up the breakout session in a few minutes. So please do choose whichever sessions you want to go. The first one is live with machines. Second session with applied cognitive psychology. And the third one is open discussion that I'm going to chair. So if any one of you want to have a say in this conference or any discussion that you want to bring in, I will be just there with our colleagues, and we can have open discussions about what is the embodied intelligence research, or how we can continue with this community of embodied intelligence, or how we can organize this conference in the future. So if you have any feedback or any topics or discussions, please stop by in the session 3. Okay, So with this, I'd like to thank you very much once again, and I would like to continue discussions for more collaborative research in the future. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So we stay in touch. Bye-bye.